Hey everybody, this is my 125 gallon New World tank, and I recently put a new Hygger heater on it. And I originally bought the heater thinking that it had a temperature controller attached to the heater, and I kind of portrayed it that way in my last video. I talked about it when I bought it, and I've had a few people also say that they have Hygger heaters that have external temperature controllers mounted to them, and that gives them that sort of fail-safe option, and their heater will never fail on and their tank won't overheat and so on and so forth. And that's not entirely true. While I'm not disputing the fact that Hygger probably makes a very good heater, I've not used one myself until this one I've just purchased, and I've only owned it about a week, so I don't really have an opinion yet. But they do make a good quality product as far as I can tell. But there is a big difference between what a temperature controller is and what this sort of external setup that the Hygger has. So the Hygger has this, which is supposed to suction cup to your tank, but it never sticks. That's why I just have a piece of wire hanging it here. And you set the temperature for where you want it, just like you would on any ordinary thermostat. And it's got one wire that goes to the plug, to power it. One of these wires goes to the heater itself to warm the heater. And then the third wire is the temperature probe. So it seems like it's this whole elaborate way of having sort of a fail-safe system. But really all this is still just a thermostat. And instead of having it all built in directly into the heater unit like the less expensive ones, it'll have the dial on top where you set your temperature. It'll have the thermostat built into the unit, so when the temperature is right, it'll either turn on or off. And then it'll also have the temperature probe right there within the unit, and everything will, be done right there. This just separates it out. It's not a temperature controller. This is just a thermostat. You set it to 76 degrees or wherever you want it. And when it goes below 76, it comes on and starts warming. When it gets up to temperature, it switches off, just like a thermostat. If that heater fails and the switch fails on for some reason, it's just going to function just like any other thermostat. If it fails, it's going to fail. There's no secondary backup that prevents it from continuing to heat if it fails in the on position. Again, that's just an ordinary thermostat, not a temperature controller. What I put on my 125 gallon tank over here, this is a temperature controller. That is a unit that you have to program in the upper and lower parameters of where you want it. So you have a set temperature, and then you have a heating and a cooling differential. So say your set temperature is 85 degrees, which is what I have mine set to. And I have a heating differential of 1 degree, meaning that as long as the temperature is 1 degree below 85, then that will keep sending power to this heating receptacle. That is where my heater is plugged into. So this is monitoring the temperature of the tank as well as my heater. So I keep this set a little higher than what I keep my tank heater set at, and so this always stays functioning and always keeps that energized, which allows my heater in the tank to function like an ordinary heater. It's got the thermostat. I set it to whatever temperature I want, and when it gets up to temperature, it shuts off, and it does like a normal heater does in your tank. However, this also has an upper limit where you actually program a cooling differential. So if the temperature goes above 85 degrees, and in this case I have the temperature differential set for 1 degree, so if it goes 1 degree above 85 degrees, then this unit shuts off the power to this heating receptacle and energizes the cooling receptacle. Now I don't have anything plugged into the cooling receptacle, but the important point is that it de-energizes this. So if my heater thermostat fails and it just fails on and continues to heat, When this unit senses the temperature gets above where I set it, it'll de-energize that and it'll just shut the whole system down. And that is an actual temperature controller. It also has the benefit of having a low temperature alarm and a high temperature alarm, which I have set at different temperatures. So if something happens and the temperature starts to drop lower than I want it, I will have an alarm go off to let me know that the tank is getting too cool, and vice versa. If for some reason somehow the tank does get too warm, even with my failsafe on there, then the alarm will go off letting me know that the tank is getting too warm. So that is the difference between a true temperature controller and what we have here on this Hygger unit, which is simply an external temperature thermostat. You set the temperature out here, but there's no upper and lower limit. There's no temperature differential you set. You simply set it to the temperature you want, and it functions like an ordinary thermostat. The heating probe is separate from the heater, and you know, it sort of separates it all out, but it is not the same as having a heater controller or a temperature controller there. So I just wanted to make that clarification. Otherwise, I will be doing my live stream tonight for members only. I do a live stream every Wednesday night for members only. And then, of course, I also do a live stream every Friday night and Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, for everybody. That's for public viewing. So if you're interested in seeing one of my live streams, check it out Friday night or Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So thanks for watching this one. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you real soon in the next one.